Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. This one is for Monday the 12th of February going through until Sunday the 18th of February 2024. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm going to go through each day of the week to see what the planets are doing and how they're likely to influence us. And then I'll go through each sign of the zodiac from Aries to Pisces to see what specific areas of your life this energy is likely to show up in. So unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the easiest week of 2024. I think you may find yourself being somewhat mercurial in your outlook. You may even find yourself being volatile, moody, tempestuous. So Monday and Tuesday, those 2 days of the week, those are the ones that have the most potential for harmony, and you're able to connect with other people in a really positive way. But then from Wednesday onwards, it becomes a little bit more complicated, and you may find that you have to spend some time and effort kind of managing your own moods. And in my experience, when things are mercurial, what that offers us is to find things in our external environments that are actually very consistent and that can provide us with a lot of security. So the lack of kind of peace internally then draws us to things which are very straightforward and reliable in the outside world. So if you're in a spot in your life where everything seems to be up in the air and you haven't really been able to pinpoint a particular thing, this is the kind of week where those securities can be revealed to you, and that then offers a new way forward. So if you're in a kind of transition period in your life, this is a good week to kind of approach those things and to find new areas to work towards. Okay, so let's start with Monday the 12th of February. We have the moon in Pisces. The moon is the way you feel, and Pisces is a water sign that's very good at connecting to the higher realms and getting creative. Because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, it has this really generous and kind outlook on things because it's completed the journey and it's looking back. So it's not in the middle of it. It doesn't have to sweat the small stuff, and it's very kind of hindsight is 2020. So with that placement, you will start the week feeling optimistic, and you'll find it easy to connect with yourself, the higher realms, and to other people. And not only that, the Pisces moon then conjuncts Neptune in Pisces, which is the water planet of dreams and intuition. It's in the sign that it rules, and it blends its energy together with the moon in Pisces. So there's the real potential for imagination to be fired and to have kind of a magical experience through the connections you have in your life with other people, but also things that you're doing on an everyday basis. Even if something usually is kind of gray in tone, it may suddenly take on vibrant colors here. So expect to be surprised in a positive way on Monday in the way you feel. The Pisces moon then sextiles Mars and Capricorn, and that's very no nonsense. Mars is the red planet of drive and masculinity and energy. And in Capricorn, it's got both of its feet firmly planted on the ground. And it says, how can I use my energy to get things done? What am I working towards? But also, because of this connection between Capricorn, Earth, and Pisces, water, if you're an artist or if you want to express certain feelings, it's a nice combination where you find the right container for what you're feeling. So whether that's painting something that's going on internally, or writing about it, or sculpture or design, or something is really able to take on form and structure when you work on it, and it will contain those feelings that you've got on Monday. So if you're an artist or a creative person, look at what you can do here on Monday. You're likely to be very pleased with the results of your work. The moon then enters Aries at 2:26 in the afternoon, so that's a big shift because the moon is now exiting the last sign of the zodiac, Pisces, and it's going into the first sign of the zodiac, Aries, which is a fire sign, and it's ruled by Mars. So it's very much about, I'm starting a new journey. It's not about hindsight. It's about looking at what's ahead and what are the obstacles that are standing in my way and how can I overcome those in the moment. The Aries moon then sextiles Pluto in Aquarius, and Pluto is about transformation and change. And in Aquarius, that change is kind of fueled by new ideas and communication and being open to learn. So you have a great deal of respect for information here on Monday. So you're going to be willing to listen to other people, to do research, and to really study. There's this kind of sense that if I want to get what I want, I have to inform myself first. So the outlook in that sense is really open. So on Monday, expect a really positive and optimistic outlook that allows you to get the best out of even mundane moments. So something that may be routine or even a little boring suddenly becomes very interesting, and you can have these wonderful experiences out of nowhere suddenly. Expect to be particularly fascinated by a new bit of information that comes your way that promises a magical outcome. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because you're approaching everything with such positivity and there's this inner sense of wonder. It's likely to spill over into your external environment and you're able to manifest things very quickly. So there's a lot of balance here on Monday. Look at what you're putting into a situation. The more positive you can approach anything, or the more positive energy you can put into something, the more that outcome is going to return to you. On Tuesday, the 13th of February, we have Mars entering Aquarius at 5 minutes past 7 in the morning. So whereas Mars in Capricorn is very focused on getting things ticked off and being productive, in Aquarius, it uses all of its focus and energy to learn and to cast the net wide in the sense that what don't I know already and what do I need to know now? So if there's anything around studying or informing yourself or doing research to kind of overcome a problem in your life, Tuesday is excellent for that. The Aries moon conjuncts Chiron in Aries. So Chiron is the wounded healer in the chart. And the conjunction of the moon, the way you feel with Chiron, is this amazing sense that there is the potential to heal something in my life, but also it's my responsibility to make things better for myself. And again, with Mars in Aquarius, and the way to do that then is to learn as much as I possibly can and to come up with answers for myself based on my learning. The Aries moon also sextiles Mercury in Aquarius, so that underlines that respect for info even more because Mercury is the communication planet. And in the air sign of Aquarius, it really looks at info in the sense that this is something that can heal everything in life. It's almost like nothing is impossible if I look at it long enough, if I assess it, and if I gain knowledge around that particular area, then I can transform anything. So you see, that gives you a great deal of control and confidence, because if everything is knowable, then all you need to do is, open the right page or pick the right book in order to get what you want. And then the Aries moon also sextiles the sun in Aquarius. So the sun is what you're striving towards, and it's what gives you a sense of happiness and power. And that being in Aquarius is the same thing. The solution to any problem is knowing about that issue in order to resolve it. Venus, the planet of love and beauty, that's in Capricorn. So that's also very nice for creativity because it has a kind of practical outlet. Or Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, says, how can I pour all of these positive emotions into something concrete? And it sextiles Neptune in Pisces. So one, it heightens your creative abilities even more. But second of all, it really creates a wonderful, loving kind of energy that you can tap into. And Wednesday, the 14th, is Valentine's Day. In terms of the astrology, that's when things become much more complicated. So if you do want to celebrate, the day of love and romance, I think Tuesday, the 13th, is much better to do something with another person to connect in a loving, harmonious way. On Wednesday, you're so kind of distracted by what's going on within that you're less interested in connection with other people, I would say. Mars in Aquarius on Tuesday, that also conjuncts Pluto in Aquarius. So everything is about transforming your circumstances by pouring all your time and energy into learning and studying. So on this day, Tuesday the 13th, you are open and interested in new relationships with people and with areas of interest. It's a great day to sign up for a course. You may be presented with a solution to an ongoing and stressful problem. And like I said, with Venus connecting to Neptune, there is also the potential for love to appear in unexpected places and seemingly out of nowhere. So there's a real sense of wonder and magic associated with Monday and Tuesday. And now we get to Wednesday, the 14th of February. We have Mars in Aquarius forming a conjunction with Pluto in Aquarius. So I want to continue to study in order to overcome anything and to transform things for the better. The Aries moon then squares Venus in Capricorn. So it's about using my energy to be creative and to get things done. And it sextiles the sun in Aquarius. So it's very cerebral still. So what is consistent here is your openness and willingness to learn and to hone your skills through the intellect. The moon then enters Taurus at 4:02 in the afternoon. So the moon is now in an earth sign. Taurus is a fixed earth sign. And that's very much about taking control of your practical circumstances. So I want to nail things down so that they suit me. The Taurus moon then conjuncts Jupiter in Taurus, the lucky planet of growth and expansion and good fortune. So it's actually a good idea to take charge of the practical on Wednesday. So again, if I'm taking control of my thoughts and feelings by giving myself permission to express those creatively, that works. But also if it's much more mundane, if it's like I want to sort out the payment error, or I want to look at my finances or my job or my living situation, that's really supported here on Wednesday. So I mentioned that, the emotions start to get a little bit more challenging around Wednesday. But what I'm seeing here via these connections so far is that looking at the practicals is a nice way to distract yourself. And also there's a lot of potential to complete things in a satisfying way. The Taurus moon squares Pluto in Aquarius and Mars in Aquarius, and it sextiles Saturn in Pisces. And Saturn in Pisces, it's making its first appearance really this week. So that connection is, again, I need to learn. I need to put everything I've got into gaining more knowledge. But at this time now, there's also a sense that spiritually and feeling-wise, you need to take note of something else that almost seems foreign and alien that's happening within. So you see your focus splits now on Wednesday. It's not just about opening the right magazine. It's also about I need to practice good self-care and kind of listen to what's going on internally because something is happening. So you do a 180 because of this, and you have a much bigger tendency to withdraw into yourself because you're trying to figure it out. It's a great day still to get creative and to pursue artistic endeavors. And if there's any sense of tension going on internally, then it's an easy way to get that out of yourself by pouring it into your creative work. But also you'll have the sense here on Wednesday that it is very important to speak your truth, whether that hurts someone else's feelings or not, whether they have asked for your opinion or not. So you see, there can be conflict, and there's the potential, like if you're having a romantic dinner on Wednesday, and suddenly you get this uncontrollable urge to educate this other person on everything they've ever done wrong, then that isn't going to stay a romantic dinner for long. So instead, get rid of those kind of feelings of being unsettled and pour it into your creative work, and keep your eye on what it is you feel compelled to say. And just, I think an easy way of managing this is, if someone else said this to me, would I appreciate that? I think that's an easy rule of thumb here. So you may take that too far, and you could become critical here on Wednesday the 14th, but you may even take it even further and become somewhat intolerant and very unaccepting. So the golden rule is a good thing to kind of keep in mind on Wednesday. I mean, no one likes to be criticized. If it's constructive criticism, fine, great. Most people take that in stride and say, actually, I can improve as a result. But that's the thing here on Wednesday. It's not even based on anything constructive. It's more like you venting. So on Thursday the 15th, then, we have the Taurus moon forming a conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, and it squares Mercury in Aquarius. So practical actions are supported, solving things that exist in a physical way money, work, billing. Again, I don't know, that's the second time that's come up. Check your, if there's anything that doesn't quite make sense in terms of your accounts, look into that. That's, for some reason, that's coming through here. But taking practical action is likely to have a good outcome. You can make major changes to your circumstances and improve them based on what you've learned so far this week. Mercury in Aquarius then sextiles Chiron in Aries. So what's nice with that combination is that you really have your own interest at the position of number one on your priority list. So that can make you somewhat dismissive of other people, and there can be conflict. But where it helps you is if you really need to tackle something that's difficult and challenging and it's caused you issues in the past, by studying it and looking at every angle, it's very likely that you find a solution yourself. So if you look at it that way, it makes sense that you're not so focused on others because you're about to accomplish something and you don't want to be distracted. So on Thursday, we're shifting more into the realms of work and finance here. There is major potential for a new money-making idea to appear. And if you get any offers or opportunities via a company and organization, really listen to that. And if there is an opportunity, it's likely that you can trust it and that you can act quickly. So you see, that's contradictory because if you're in study mode all week and then on Thursday something comes up that's like you immediately recognize it as being great and you can trust that, and you're asked to sign up immediately or to pounce on the situation, then it's like, well, I've been studying so much and now I'm being presented with something that's totally unfamiliar. It feels good. It may make you a little skeptical or cautious. And you see, if anyone then comes into your space and tries to throw you for a loop, I think you're very impatient with that kind of thing because you've got enough on your plate. That's the feeling I'm getting. On Friday, the 16th of February, the Taurus moon squares the sun in Aquarius. So now I can genuinely use my ideas and everything I've learned and implement that in a very constructive way. It sextiles Neptune in Pisces, so creativity is still supported. So I must say that for all these days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, learning is something that's consistent, and so is creativity. Venus enters Aquarius at 5:05 in the afternoon. So with the planet of love now in Aquarius, I love to educate others, I love to learn, I love to teach, I love to communicate, I like to have conversations. The moon enters Gemini at 8:39 in the afternoon. So if you're a writer, Friday is really exceptional because you'll find the right words and you'll be able to express everything that you're feeling in a brilliant way. So you have this inner dictionary opening up if you're a writer. The Gemini moon then trines Mars, Venus, and Pluto in Aquarius. So you may have so much going on in your mind at the moment that, yes, you can express things if you've set yourself a specific task, like writing the essay or painting a feeling that you're going through. But because there's so much, I think it can almost be too much of a good thing, and that you start to become somewhat vague about how other people may take this information, because that's not a priority. Your priority is to be creative and to get your truth out there. And you may overlook that some sort of truth that you're sharing may actually hurt someone else. So the question then is this necessary? Is it worth upsetting someone else for getting this out? You know, what that reminds me of, a lot of people save their memoirs until people who are a very influential role in that life story until they've passed away. I've heard that several times because, you know, if you're writing a really honest and truthful memoir, your experience, some people aren't going to come out of that looking great. So a lot of people really weigh that up before they do that kind of work. So that's what applies here on Friday. That's the vibe I'm getting. Mercury in Aquarius squares Uranus in Taurus. So your learning that you've done this week can put you in the perfect situation, or that learning may now be perfect to solve a problem that appears on Friday. So on Friday, your perspective opens up and you become almost detached and stoic in your approach, particularly when it comes to the feelings of others. And all these sudden shifts of mood and mind, they could make you really irritable and make you feel insecure within. And you may have this desire to pick a fight with someone just to get the tension out. I think a better way is to pour it into your creative endeavors. So if you find that you can't help yourself on Friday, it's like, I have to get this off my chest, then make sure at the very least that you're having a go at the right thing or person. You know, if I'm really angry about my weight, for instance, like I've tried different diets and I just can't seem to gain a pound or lose a pound, there's no point then in having a go at my aunt about it. And that's the kind of not very constructive kind of feeling you have, that it's better out than in. And I really am not particularly interested in who's at the receiving end of all of this. So that's where the self-awareness, I think, can be really useful. And also, if you look at it a different way, that's when you can really create something work-wise or creatively that's very meaningful and that other people can identify with. On Saturday, the 17th of February, we've got Venus in Aquarius forming a conjunction with Pluto in Aquarius. So the knowledge and the learning, it becomes very relevant. It's like you have the final puzzle piece and you didn't even know you had that. And now some sort of circumstance is likely to appear on Saturday that says, oh, I read something recently. I know exactly what the answer is. Boom. So if that kind of thing shows up, or if there are really challenging obstacles that need to be resolved, approach those fully and give them all of your attention, because you're likely to get things resolved through using all of this knowledge. The Gemini moon then squares Saturn in Pisces and it sextiles Chiron in Aries. So again, it feels like I'm detoxing if I'm speaking the truth, but also there's a sense that it might be more useful and maybe more beneficial to you in return if you put it into some sort of tangible product. So rather than venting my frustrations, let me try and draw my frustrations and see what I come up with. You may be surprised at the way you translate it. So on Saturday, the desire to change through learning and by finding a solution. What am I saying? On Saturday, you have the desire to change based on learning. So what am I thinking? What do I know? That's what's going to empower me to make changes. That's what's going to empower me to find solutions, because I'm so able to research and to access the right bit of knowledge at the right time, and I can create meaning. The positives of being this emotionally like wound up almost is that it can, particularly here on Saturday, offer you a more balanced and consistent way forward. And this desire to find security in your life is, you're more likely to find that externally than internally on Saturday. And just as an aside, on Saturday the 17th, be very careful when it comes to signing any documents, because you're operating on so many different levels. You've got so much info that you're kind of sifting through and so many feelings going on that you may just say, oh yeah, don't distract me now, let me just sign it to get it off my desk. So watch out for that kind of thing. On Sunday, the 18th of February, we've got the Gemini moon forming a square with Neptune in Pisces. So again, beautiful words and creatively very astute. It trines Mercury in Aquarius and the Sun in Aquarius. So we've got air and water. Air, your ideas, your intellect, and then water, your feelings. They kind of blend together. And again, I think it's a day to be careful about what it is you're expressing. If it seems like an obvious truth to you, the other person may not be aware that you've made this judgment and may get really offended by what you think is just the truth, you see? So again, creativity and communication are supported on Sunday. Make the most of that by expressing yourself creatively, design, writing, art. And if you are around other people, try and connect with people who you can connect with easily, where there isn't a lot of room for misunderstanding. And ideally, if there's someone in your life who really makes you laugh and just makes you, by talking to this person, you find it much easier to find the humor in a situation or to not take things so seriously. That's a good option, because then you can kind of take the power out of all of these intense feelings and you can kind of decompress a little bit, because you are wound up very tight this week with all of these energies. So that kind of interaction is likely to put you in a place where you feel more at ease and things are starting to settle down again. So try and tolerate the emotional upheaval by looking at securities and consistencies in your external environment. That's what I feel the gift of the week is all about. Okay, so each sign of the zodiac, Aries. You will certainly want to have the time and space to express your ideas, or you could become frustrated if this isn't given to you. So for you, there is the potential for conflict if you feel you have something important to say and someone is kind of disrespecting you by not giving you the chance to finish your sentence, and that could make you very volatile. Taurus, you can let go of any tension by channeling it into your work, whether that's creative work or any other type of work, and you can really move mountains in the area of your career, your vocation. And it's also an effective distraction tactic for you guys. If you are feeling ill at ease, then distract yourself by doing work. You'll have the energy for it and you can really accomplish great things. So you see, that makes sense because you're focused on securities. Gemini, you have an amazing opportunity to discover your true area of interest and expertise. So ask yourself, what should I study next? Or what should I study for the first time? What fascinates me and where can I see myself really being an expert? And where do I want to be an expert with specialist knowledge? Cancer, the less you try and influence a situation, the better the outcome is likely to be. So you guys are almost like on a holiday this week. Do as little as possible for the best outcome. Leo, solutions may appear through unrelated conversations with friends, colleagues, or family members. So really open up to other people in your life and deliberately listen to what they're saying to you. Virgo, an opportunity to help another person may appear, and by helping that other person, you may find that that leads you to a new and unexpected path that suddenly appears and opens up in your life. So by being helpful, you may discover a new direction. Libra, you'll ace any work that requires presentation or teaching. You're really able to put your best foot forward and to present your ideas and yourself in the way that you would like. Scorpio, if someone wants to share something important with you, it's likely, in your case, to be a test of your friendship or your love or your connection to that other person. And you're very likely to see right through that, and you may have a problem with it. So for you, there's a real opportunity for conflict if you feel like someone is testing you unnecessarily. The question then is, why am I being tested here? And you may react in a very indignant way. How dare you question my loyalty? Okay. Which, I mean, I'm sure we've all done that. Sagittarius, any creative work is massively supported for you this week. And you, out of all of the signs, are luckiest when it comes to expressing your ideas and feelings in a creative way. You may look at it afterwards and say, wow, I painted that, amazing. So it's time for any masterpiece to be started or completed. Capricorn, get ready for good news about your finances or your living situation. So you will really find the securities in the world easily, and you may even get good news around those securities. Aquarius, you're going to be the least moody of the signs this week and the most patient. So if you notice anyone else in your life really struggling, give yourself permission to help, to be of service, because you can really create a strong bond with that person. I don't know about you, but I have certain people in my life who've been there for me when I needed them, and I will never ever forget that. And those people can often do no wrong because I remember that they really helped me. So it's a good way of really creating that kind of security in one of your relationships with someone who's important to you. Pisces, your guides, your angels, your higher self, your instinct, your gut feeling is likely to provide you with the solution to a problem, and it will drop that in your lap free of charge. So for you, it's a process of simply being willing to listen and to get the answer for yourself. So Chiron in Aries is going to be really happy about that. So that's what I get for you this week. I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. If you'd like me to look at your natal chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth to draw up your birth chart. If you don't have the time of birth, there's a process called chart rectification where you send me 10 or more significant life events that have happened to you. And based on those, I can then actually work out your time of birth manually. So if you don't have your time of birth, don't worry, that doesn't mean that you can't have your chart drawn up. And once I do have your natal chart in front of me, I analyze that chart the way I do in the videos for the new moons and the full moons, where I put the chart next to me here. It shows me a great deal about who you are. I always call it a blueprint of the soul, because it shows me what your mission is in this lifetime, what you're trying to accomplish, where your natural strengths and weaknesses are, what's destined for you in certain area, and where you have free will and where you can make changes easily. It talks about specifics like income and finances and family relationships and spiritual development, connection and relationship to groups of people, travel. If you've got any questions, or if you've got certain things coming up in future and you're kind of trying to decide when is the best time to move, or when is the best time to plan the celebration event, or should I save or move? Looking at the progress chart and the transit, that allows me to see how you've changed over time and where you're at now, and also it's likely to come up for you in future, so when the best timings are. And then finally, if you have any questions around specific locations in the world, if you have the freedom to move and you're like, should I live in Argentina, or should I move to America or South Africa or Europe? The astrocartography is a wonderful kind of map based on your birth chart of how particular areas on this planet are going to affect you specifically. So for instance, me, Glastonbury, is ruled by my great conjunction in my chart that I've got. I've got a great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn sitting together when I was born. And in my astrocartography, that goes through Glastonbury, England, which I feel is partially why I was drawn there and why it was such a powerful place for me. So if you're interested in any of that, or you would like to speak to me, then please do get in touch for a personal reading via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on the button that says book your reading to audio reading with me. If you like this video, then please do give it a like. That helps the videos, and share it with other people. That would be super helpful. I do other videos on the channel. I do these weekly horoscopes, new and full moon videos, and I also do a daily tarot reading. So please consider becoming a member of my channel for the daily tarot reading. I hope you have a wonderful week here, and that you find that you're not too moody or difficult to manage. Fingers crossed. I hope you find all those amazing securities in your life. Have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best. Take care.